Hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. It is Thursday, the 20th of November, and we are here with some interesting news regarding Arsenal, with some interesting news regarding contract situations, and some bits and bobs here or there, because there has been some very interesting talk regarding Arsenal in the past 24 hours. So if you could do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe if you are new, and leave your thoughts down the live chat about the latest things we're going to talk about, anything that concerns you or you want to discuss. Give me a sec. And yeah, let's do this, people. Let's do this, because today we have very interesting stuff to talk about. Very interesting stuff, because Odegaard apparently could be available for the North London derby. Yes, you heard it right. Odegaard potentially could be available for the North London derby. On top of that, Arsenal are preparing a TIFO for the North London derby, and based on the last TIFO we saw for the PSG game, yeah, the bar is not that high, is it? The bar definitely is not that high for the TIFO situation. However, at the same time, bloody hell, do Arsenal need to do something proper, because if we're gonna make ourselves once more a laughing stock in this regard, it's gonna be painful and it's gonna be long, and we won't be able to live it down. Let's just put it that way. Also, Saka advances closer to the new contract, which is also very nice to some extent. People, including myself, have a bit of a mixed review and mixed thoughts about Saka's new deal, but we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna discuss it, obviously, together, and we're obviously gonna talk about some transfers, about some improvements for the course, because we are also inching towards January and all that stuff. But ultimately, yeah, we're gonna talk about the matter at hand. Big up Mubarak, hope you're doing well. Thrilled and positive about Bukayo Saka news. Odegaard, Gyökeres won't be back, but he might be back for Bayern, maybe. But I don't expect that, even though he has been in the training without any physical involvements. So that just shows that he's not fully prepared. Obviously, tomorrow, Mikel Arteta is going to conduct an interview before the North London derby tomorrow afternoon. So definitely it's going to be interesting to see what he has to say, of course. And why is it run? Because we terminated it. Time comes to an end. And good riddance as well. Because the situation surrounding Rwanda and all this stuff definitely not putting everything into very good limelight. Let's just put it that way. I'm not going to get into details, because nothing on this channel is going to get discussed about that, at least for now. But overall, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who is going to be Arsenal's new sponsor. We need a sleeve sponsor and everything. We need somebody new. It will be interesting to see what Kroenke is and PR, HR, and all the managements draw up in that regard. Big up, Hendon. Hope you're doing well. To this beautiful day. Hope everything is good with you. If Odegaard features in North London derby, then Spurs have a great chance at beating Arsenal. Spurs have a decent chance in general beating Arsenal. I'm not going to lie, because Spurs' away record this season is quite amazing. I'm not going to lie. Let me check this quickly. Because Spurs' away record this season, right? This season is actually very decent. Very decent, because the games Spurs have played away this season, right? Now, away, right? We're looking away. They beat City. They beat West Ham. They drew against Brighton. They drew against Bodo Glimt. They beat Leeds. They drew against Monaco. They beat Everton. Where is next away game? And the next one is against Arsenal away. So they have actually very decent away record. So that definitely is something we need to take into consideration when we need to be very careful about that one. Big up PW, hope you're doing well. Can't have two lightweights in the middle. Zubi and the goals guard will end in tears 100%. It doesn't get better from there, to be honest, because I'm not gonna lie. Hendon, you're gonna love this. I absolutely guarantee you're gonna love this. You're absolutely gonna love this, because Odegaard apparently could be back, right? There's a possibility Odegaard will be available for the Spurs game. It will be a late call for him and others and the doctors and everything, obviously. Most likely Saturday evening, maybe Sunday morning, depending on situation. But the next part is more insane. Arsenal are also planning on unveiling a tifo at the North London derby. The design was support-driven, with the current and former players featuring on it. Since it's supporter-driven, I have more hopes. Let's just put it that way, because we cannot do what we did last year. We cannot do what we did last year, because last year that was embarrassment. That was pathetic, and let's be real, it was shameful, to say the least. It was utterly and totally shameful. But yeah, overall, it's not looking that good, is it? Hopefully, Arsenal do something good. Hopefully, Arsenal, together with fan-driven ones, by the way, last year, what Ashburton Army or whoever proposed the tifos for the PSG game, they were fantastic, to say the least. I'm not gonna lie, compared to what Arsenal pulled off with the shower curtain and all that stuff. So I just hope that they listen more. I just hope that Arsenal listen more to the fans and it goes in a better situation. Because if we get another cannon or something like that, even though they say it's a former players featuring on it, it sounds great. But again, if Arsenal pulls something weird, if it's like tilted or it's upside down or crap like that, I'm not gonna lie, for Arsenal, it's gonna be hella long to leave this down, because we already made ourselves a laughing stock with the tifo. If we do it again, definitely it's not gonna be great, without shadow of a doubt. And the other big news regarding Arsenal today, is this. Bukayo Saka has agreed in principle to extend his contract with Arsenal till 2030. So for 5 more years, technically speaking. Well, 2 extra. He had 2 years left on his contract, so 3 plus years, 3 extra years. And apparently his wages are going to be about 250, 260,000 a week. Allegedly, right? It's all allegedly. And he still is going to get less than Kai Havertz, interestingly enough. Not sure how that is going out and how that should be fair, but hey, beggars can be choosers, right? And to some extent. Bukayo Saka currently is on what? 200, 240, something like that, in terms of salary at Arsenal. So definitely there will be very, I assume, very interesting discussion regarding that. Definitely will be very, very interesting discussion regarding Arsenal in that regard. But Bukayo Saka signing a new deal, technically on paper, it sounds great. But given his latest injury history, definitely it is not great. Definitely it is not great. Because if you look at Arsenal's wages, right, it is actually quite insane to think about. Kai Havertz is on 280. Jesus is on 265. Saliba is on 250. Kind of fair deals. Odegaard is on 240. God knows why, but it is what it is. Declan Rice is on 240. Gyökeres allegedly is on 200. Saka is on 195. If his salary grows to like 250, I'm not that against it. 250, I can still manage. But if it goes up to 300, if he gets more than Havertz with his injuries at the moment and the way he's performing, definitely it's not the best of situations regarding Arsenal and how they are managing their money. Now, the thing is, though, look at Trossard's contract. Look at Leandro Trossard's contract. Because Trossard, before he signed the extension, right, at the beginning of the season, he was on 90,000 a week. 90. He got double the salary increase. And to be honest, he has been somewhat decent this season. So kind of even cannot fault him for that to some extent. So saying kind of too much, but cannot even fault him for that. But 180 is actually kind of wild. 180 for Trossard is kind of wild, but at the same time, I get it. I absolutely get it. At the same time, if you look at some other salaries, how, for example, Gabriel Magalhaes is on 150, that is travesty and a half. How is he on 150? That is travesty and a half. Big up, Cooper. Big up. Hope you're doing well today, my bro. Because he was on 100 grand before he signed the new deal. And now he signed a new deal on June 6th. And he has salary increased by 50 grand. How is that fair? Because Gabriel, for me, has been the best defender at Arsenal for the last year and a half at least. Yet he, of all the defenders we have besides Yuri and Timber, which currently Arsenal are still negotiating new contract talks with bigger salary, he's gonna. I'm actually, kid you not, Gabriel Magalhaes will receive the least amount of money. Gabriel Magalhaes will receive the least amount of money of the main defenders, despite the fact that he is the best of all of defenders, in my opinion, in the team. How is that fair? How is that fair to him? How is that rewarding the performances he's putting in? For me, it just doesn't make sense, and I don't think it's actually that much fair. Yeah, people, hit the likes and subscribe if you haven't already as well. And if we go further even than that, for example, Calafiori is on 120, Hincapié is on 65 allegedly, Zubimendi is on 75, which is great. I don't mind that. Vangieri is on 80. Go figure. Max Dauman is on 35. Holy crap. Holy crap. 35 grand. Skelly's on 40, 55, 60, 65. It's not that bad, but apparently Saka is going to rise, as we talked about this a second ago, to like 250, 260. He still is not going to be the highest earner in the team. He's going to be on the same level as Saliba, most likely, which I'm not too sure. To some extent, I'm okay with that, because the way this kid, literally kid, has carried this team for countless years on his shoulders for us to be where we are, he should be getting it. On the other hand, at the moment, based on his performances for the last year or so, based on injuries, I'm not too sure he deserves that. Definitely not too sure he deserves that. Big up, Fusion. Big up from Chicago. Big up to you. Made the travels, right? You're in Chicago. How is it in Chicago at the moment? How is it in Chicago currently? Is it good? How's Chicago treating you? Yeah, big up to Fusion as well. Not good evening. This is not good morning. This is good afternoon for him right now. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, the salary thing, obviously we can talk about it. We can discuss it. We can go all ways, shapes, and forms around it at the end of the day. But we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. Big up, Oaxaca. Big up, Oaxaca. Hope you're doing well today, my bro. But yeah, like, how are you feeling, people? How are you feeling? Let me know in the chat. Odegaard could be available for the North London derby. Obviously, they say it's going to be a late decision. Might be Saturday night, might be Sunday morning, and stuff like that. How you feeling about that? You excited? You happy? You worried? And all that stuff? So much money wasted at Arsenal and so much dross. Yeah, it is. But hey, it looks like it is changing right now. With Berta, with Berta there specifically, let's be real. It looks like it might be changing because Zubimendi, for example, is only on 75 grand. Hincapié is on about 60 grand. In those regards, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Obviously, when Edu signed them, right, Merino was instantly on 130, Calafiori on 120, which is actually kind of nuts, to say the least. But hey, go figure, right? Genuinely go figure in that regard. But hey, we'll see about that one. Don't want Odegaard anywhere near the Arsenal squad. He's crap, and now he isn't even match fit. Not worth the risk. True. But we all know that he is, he's the favorite. Arteta loves Odegaard. He's the skipper. He's the skipper. He's the captain. So, obviously, he's not match fit. We all know that. But I kind of can see him playing for some minutes if he gets actually approved for the game. That's the nuts part. I actually can see him getting some minutes. Big up, PW. Big up. The North London derby requires we play only the fully fittest players. True. For me, the worry for the North London derby is the midfield at the end of the day. It is the midfield, no matter how you look at it. Because I still have PTSD, people, and you can say it how you want to say it. If it is PTSD or it is not. But Spurs have a midfielder that absolutely destroys us every single time he has faced us. And that is Palhinha. Because remember Palhinha for Fulham? The way he absolutely annihilated our midfield most of the times. And now he plays for Spurs. And that for me is a worry because we cannot handle Palhinha somehow. Plus, our team as well, it's not the strongest in the midfield. Definitely not the strongest. And Paulinho versus our attackers are against, God forbid, Odegaard, if he starts against Zubimendi, he's going to eat them alive. Genuinely, I think he's going to eat them alive, potentially. But yeah, and the Tifo has lots of expectations right now, because if they pull anything of this embarrassment they pulled off, what they did against PSG, oh bloody hell, will that be end of days, to say the least. Cloudy, 8 degrees. Nice, 8 degrees. That's actually pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Big up. Enjoy Chicago, my man. Go see the Bean in Chicago. Go get the pizza, because Chicago, to a certain extent, has the best pizza in the world, some people would argue. It has fantastic pizza, I'm not gonna lie. Chicago has a very tasty pizza, to say the least. But yeah, definitely enjoy Chicago. Enjoy Chicago, definitely, my man. Play Vanieri for the North London Derby. Where would you play Vanieri? Hendon, where would you play Vanieri? Spurs have a strong midfield, no lightweights in there. Exactly. Kudus is also back. Kudus against just back from injury Calafiori, and whoever plays the left center back is gonna be also a tough task, because they don't have as much understanding between each other, because they don't play a lot between themselves. So definitely it's gonna be a very interesting one how that's gonna go. I fully expect that. Big up Terry Tibbs. Big up Terry, my man. How can we get Semenyo? Where are the outgoings? How can we have potentially Semenyo, Trossard, Martinelli, Eze, Vanieri, Madueke as wing? That's insane. That's the thing. According to recent reports, Aziros loves to see this, right? According to recent reports, right? Where is it? Let me find this quickly. Now, Arsenal are willing to... There it is. Arsenal would be willing to loan out Vanieri, right? And here is more. On top of Vanieri, right? Arsenal would be willing to listen if there's a significant offer for Gabriel Martinelli this January already, if past interest from Saudi develops again. Given Trossard form and the arrival of Madueke, Arsenal apparently feel they have some flexibility that make a sale in that position. No, they just want another left winger who is better than Martinelli. Let's be real. Even though Arteta should be playing him as a number 9, but we don't see it happening. And the third player up for grabs, apparently this January, is Ben White. Arsenal are open to selling Ben White, which to a certain extent, I get it. To be honest, to a big extent as well. Mosquera has played right back. He can play there. To what extent, we don't know, because he hasn't played a lot at the right back, so we actually will not know until he plays there, obviously. Right? But apparently we are willing to sell him. We are willing to sell Ben White if a proper offer also comes in. Will be very interesting. Will be very interesting to see how that one develops. We'll see. I don't want Arteta to sign any more players, save the money for the next manager. I totally understand it. Because the expectations and the understanding that when you spend $1 billion would be that everything is in the place. Everything is in the place, but it's very evident that it's not. There are not just one position as the left wing. There are multiple positions that are not in place. And that is one of the biggest worries at the moment. Definitely one of the biggest worries. And if Arsenal are willing to sell already in January Gabriel Martinelli, it just could indicate that Arsenal are going to go in for someone. Maybe they're going to try loan in a player like, I don't know, Rodrigo, even for the sake of an argument, and then pay the money in summer. They might try to do that. Maybe. Who knows? Genuinely, who knows? Obviously, Semenyo is the straightforward option. 65 million release clauses. You pay them, you have him. But I think that also strictly depends on how much we would, if we sell Martinelli, how much he would go for and all this stuff. How much Semenyo is on in terms of salary at Bournemouth? Because I think that also is going to play a very, very interesting role in all of this if Arsenal would go for him. And also, what does that mean for our wing positions? So, where is it? Semenyo is on. And I kid you not, Antoine Semenyo apparently at Bournemouth is on 75. Yes, you heard it right. £75,000. Only 75 grand. Only. He gets the same amount as Zubimendi at Arsenal. Think about it that way. So for Arsenal, that would be very easy to pay. Let's be real. Arsenal would negotiate like 100 grand a week without shadow of a doubt, like light work. And just the matter of release clauses. If they can be paid in installments even, that would be even better for Arsenal. Let's be real. Trossard is Miles Bernard-Madueke. To a certain extent, yeah. In the key aspects, definitely. Only thing I would say that, well, two things technically. But although I would say technical ability is on the same level, even though Trossard has it a bit better, I'm not going to lie. The only thing that Madueke has better than Trossard is pace, at the end of the day, in my opinion. Arteta is like that used car salesman selling his cars he doesn't want anymore after he's trashed them into the ground, aka Ben White and Gabriel Jesus. Jesus is not up for sale, interestingly enough. That's the nuts part. From all the players that have been, right now at least, at the end of November, talked about in the realm of transfers, right? I kid you not, Jesus is not in it. Jesus is not in that talk realm. There is Martinelli, there is Ranieri loan, there is Ben White and players. There's no Jesus. Even though about a month ago, there were talks that Arsenal would be willing to offload Jesus in January. Jesus has come out since then and said in an interview that he wants to see out his deal. At least he wouldn't mind extending it by the looks of things. At least he didn't say that, but the way he said it, it felt that way. So if he can stay fit, Arsenal most likely are going to cash in summer. Most likely, if it comes to that. But if he actually stays fit, he can manage to give us some decent minutes. He can manage to provide for us on the score sheet with goals and or assists. I think he actually might be staying. Generally believe so. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Gabi Jesus. He actually was one of my favorite players in Premier League when we signed him. When he was at City and when we signed him, actually was kind of excited because there was some potential. But with the injuries and everything, availability is one of the most important abilities player needs to have. And unfortunately, he doesn't have that. For the last 2.5 years, he just doesn't have that, which is one of the biggest worries and the biggest issues with Gabriel Jesus for me personally, which at the end of the day means that, yeah, most likely he is not going to stay any longer. I expect him to be sold in summer, but who knows? In summer, he has 1 year left on his deal. Maybe we can basically, I don't know, if you're talking car terms, right, thrashed cars and everything, maybe you can sell him for scraps to scrapyard or something like that for about 20 million if we are lucky. Surely, but yeah, Arsenal are in this weird position at the moment in terms of all the players, in terms of instances, situations, how they're developing. Also, question is how Arsenal are gonna bounce back. How Arsenal are gonna bounce back? How we gonna manage Gabriel's injury? How we gonna manage that? Because at the moment, it's not looking great. We will have to play. Obviously, we will have to play either Mosquera or Hincapié as a left center back. Who is going to be that? And to what extent he will be able to replace Gabriel? Will that mean that the whole team will be even more defensive than before? Or maybe Arteta will say, well, our defense might not be holding up as good anymore, so we will just have to outscore our opponents and we will go just full-blown attack. Blitz teams, open, exciting, open-end football, which we also would be very good at. That is the big question. Obviously, knowing Arteta, most likely it's going to be the pragmatic, boring way, as we usually do, even with the best players we have. But maybe when he's back against the wall, maybe it can change a man. Because it has happened before. It's not like Arteta hasn't changed his mind before, but thing is, he He's very stubborn in that regard. And the question is, will he be willing and will he open up his mind to some changes? Let's just put it that way. Don't worry, people. Like Gal will say Semenyo will stay on his Bournemouth wages like he said about Madueke. Yeah, exactly. Like what's his face? Semenyo gets at Bournemouth £75,000, right? He gets the same amount as Zubimendi gets at Arsenal at the moment, right? And Zubimendi is one of our main guys in the starting 11, right? So if we even sign him, I fully expect him to be around 100 grand a week, which for him is gonna be massive increase. 25, like literally, his salary is gonna increase by 30%, about 100 grand. I expect that. 65 million release clauses, we can pay that. If there is a wiggle room as well, if we can pay it in installments, it's going to be even better. That's definitely going to help Arsenal with the PSR, FFP, and all this stuff. And if we cannot, if we manage to sell Martinelli, if we manage to sell Ben White or somebody else, more power to us. We can go in and try to sign some players again. Either way, there is a possibility. Obviously, it's just paper talk at the moment. Nobody knows whether it's real or not. None of them has been confirmed. None of that has been denied. Might be just yellow page stories at the end of the day. But if we look at this ultimately overall, there is a possibility. If Arsenal can maybe get a loan with obligation to buy in summer, like we are doing with Hincapié, right? That might be even better. Or maybe a loan with option to buy. Maybe loan in Rodrigo, loan in someone like that. See how he does for that half a season. If he does good, go talk. Go talk to Real Madrid. Go talk to whoever you want to sign for that left wing. Whether it's Yildiz, whether it's who it is, I don't know. But if there is an option maybe of that, we definitely can explore that option. Wouldn't be against exploring it, because I don't see it being that bad. So we'll see. We'll see. We're definitely gonna see. Give me a sec. Uno minuto. Oh bloody hell. Oh bloody hell. I'm not gonna lie. We talked about the beginning of the stream because the news broke during the day that Odegaard might be available for the Spurs game, right? Right now, it has turned into Arsenal. Odegaard is pretty much returning against Spurs after Gabriel injury. Now, this is two things. First things first, player might be rushed back, right? Second of all, this is pure damage control from Arsenal in terms of PR and all this stuff, because they all saw how annoyed, how angry, and how disappointed we were with Gabriel getting injured. And they need to turn our attention away from that. We need some good news, as they would say. And that just means that, well, Odegaard has to come back. I would say like this, definitely. I would say that this is all a PR stunt at the end of the day. Odegaard could be back. He could be sitting on the bench, but he might not play. But this is all basically done and dusted just so Arsenal fans gloss over the fact that Gabriel is out, because we should be, in their eyes, forgetting about that and focusing on other things. Let's be real. But it doesn't work like that here. Let's be real. It doesn't work like that here. Harry Simeo said Hincapié is one of the world's best defenders on his stream, so no worries with Gabriel out. We have one world's best cover to him. So what he's saying, Hincapié is one of the world's best center backs, and he holds bench for us. Somehow that doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna lie. That actually does not make sense. Maybe you're paraphrasing him a bit, hence why it gets lost in the translation. Could also be the case, but I don't think he intended that Hincapié is one of the world's best defenders. Definitely would not. Unless he means defenders as in defensive abilities. And even then, I actually would I actually would argue that he's not. Definitely would argue that. Also would argue that he is not. Let's just put it that way. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. A great stream I'm watching from. Oh, big up from Poland. Happy Odegaard is back. I'm happy about it. Gabriel is the best center back in the league right now. And this season, yeah, he's been Arsenal's best center back for a few seasons now. And I would say he's one of the best, if not the best in the league as well. Yeah. Big up Poland. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you're doing well. Hope Poland is not too cold as well, because I know that Poland can get kind of cold these days too, because it's, yeah, in winter it's coming and it tends to be kind of rough at times there. So good luck. Hope everything's fine with you as well, my man. Hope everything's fine with you as well, my man. Big up to you. Come on. Where is it? Zippy has never seen Hinkapie play before he came to Arsenal. And it feels that way. It definitely feels that way. Because every single time Arsenal sign a player, when we are linked with him, before we are linked with him, to be honest, he's crap. Why would there even be links with him? Arsenal put in bid for him. He actually looks decent, to be honest. If we look at his highlights and his XG and XA, escape rate, and all this stuff, he actually looks pretty decent. And when he signs, he is the best player since sliced bread. He's better than Maldini. He's better than Maradona, and all this stuff. It starts to go off. Like, basically, people need to convince themselves that to somehow justify the signing. At the end of the day, that's how it feels like half the time. Poland, it's called. It should be called, to be honest. I've been to Poland a few times and everything. It should be called. I'm not gonna lie. I would expect it's around what 2-3 degrees, maybe around 0. Big up, Ainer. Big up. Good to have Odegaard back. Do you play him in the center on as a left? No, I play Odegaard on the bench. Leave Odegaard on the bench. He has no much fitness whatsoever. He has been in the training, but he has no much fitness and no much sharpness at the end of the day. I'm going to be honest with you. And even when Odegaard is fully fit, I don't even want to see him play. But that goes beside the point right now. I'm just happy that we have some squad depth back. Let's just put it that way. But Odegaard should not be playing this game against Spurs. If he's back, leave him on the bench. If the game is done and dusted, best case scenario for Mikel Arteta, he can sub him on to give him some minutes. Otherwise, don't play him. Any news on Gyökeres? Any news on Gyökeres or Madueke? Apparently, they could be back. No, Gyökeres will not. Gyökeres will not, apparently. Gyökeres is training, but he's training separately from the main squad. No physical contact training, which means that most likely he's not going to play at all. We need to prepare for Mikel R9, Merino, Nazario up front once again. And we'll see how that goes afterwards. Madueke could be back as well. Hinkapie is very good, yeah. We haven't seen him at Arsenal to that extent, but we saw him at Bayer Leverkusen. We saw it for the national team. But I don't take national team as an example to judge players, because at the end of the day, national teams are not it to judge a player. Because Merino is phenomenal for Spain. Under De La Fuente, he is genuinely awful in the midfield for Arsenal under Mikel Arteta, because he's misused in all the way, shapes, and forms. He's not a bad player, but he's not also a fantastic player. I'm not going to lie. Like, we are looking in that regard. You also read about Fabio Vieira. We all know how that worked out. Yeah. We all know how the Fabio Vieira stuff worked out. That was phenomenal. Most utter BS you have ever heard. This game Arsenal play with who's healthy and who's not is ridiculous. Yeah, this is actually insane. Just give it straight answers. That is one thing I absolutely despise at the end of the day. from Mikel Arteta specifically. If player is fit, say straight up forward, player is fit. If player is injured and he's not going to play, say straightforward, he's injured and he's not going to play. Because nobody gives a crap whether certain player is going to play or not. Nobody gives a crap about the mind games at the end of the day. Because if the squad is as good as people say it is, as maybe Mikel Arteta believes it is, it should not matter at the end of the day. Opponents also don't give a damn. Because either way, the opponents prepare mostly to the worst case scenario, and then they adjust to the other things, no matter how you look at it. Big up, Sheldon. Hope you're doing well today. To prove that Arteta does not trust squad players despite the claims that they have the best. Yeah, exactly. What happened there? You went off screen. I had to blow my nose and basically put some medicine in my nose so my nose doesn't get clogged up. I'm kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of sick at this stage right now, so I kind of turned it off so you don't have to look at me how I basically poke my nose and all this stuff. So it's not basically disgusting. Let's just put it that way. Exactly. Arsenal want to sign Liverpool's academy player Joshua Abe? What? What the hell is this? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Yeah. Thank you. I'm too nursing an injury. Ooh. What's wrong with you? What happened with you? Let me know what happened with you. Hopefully all is fine and you'll get back on your feet in no time. Genuinely. Big up, Marlon. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. What else is here? What else is happening here, Gabriel? Now, I'm just gonna ask you this because I really want to know your opinion. The fact that Odegaard so miraculously has been all of a sudden good and ready for the North London derby, right? Is this the case of him miraculously getting good, right? Or is this case of just PR so they can just mask the fact that Gabriel is out and Arsenal fans, well, for the lack of a better word, don't feel too worried about it? Let me know what you think in the chat. Twisted my knee getting out of... Oh. So you pulled a Tomiyasu, basically. You twisted your knee whilst getting out of the bed and you are injured. Hopefully, genuinely, I really hope you get better soon. You have a cast or you have a sling for the leg or what? And most likely you barely can move. You could be also on your crutches, if I'm not mistaken, depending on the twist and everything. Don't say no one, because people do. Link with everyone never getting them. Well, that's Arsenal's signature move in transfer windows, let's be real. Yeah, I think so too. It's also a PR because it happens so quickly because Havertz all of a sudden doesn't come back. He has a setback. What's its face? Gyökeres might not play. Gabriel gets injured. It feels like it's all just dumped on everything. I've been hearing Ethan going out. Yeah. That's the thing. We don't know how, for me personally, this is the case. For Arteta this season, he had countless chances to play Ethan Nwaneri for insane amount of minutes. Let's be real. For Ethan, that would be insane amount of minutes, especially with our attacking injuries, and he has not done it pretty much at all. Let's be real. So if you're not playing him, you might as well loan him out. Because at the end of the day, if you keep him on the bench, he's screwed because he's youngster, he needs to develop. If you keep and if you don't loan him out, he's also screwed. Because even if you keep him as a backup in case Eze and Odegaard gets injured, first things first, that might not happen, so he holds the bench, he's screwed. If that happens, right, if Odegaard and Eze gets injured, he still might not get played, as we have seen it right now. And if Nwaneri plays, since he does not have game fitness in general and match readiness for Arsenal to such high intensity, he also can get injured. So it's kind of a lose-lose type of situation to a certain extent, and also could be a win-win, right? But for me, if you're not gonna play him, even when your most players are out in the attacking department, loan him out. Because it's very evident that you trust these guys when shit hits the fan and your backs are against the wall. But when you have everyone back pretty much, or some of them back, and you have options, for lack of a better word, you don't play them at all. Much better to play him in the other teams. Because Vanjiri and even Max Dauman, I'm not going to talk about Max Dauman much at the moment, right? But Vanjiri, he actually is good. He actually is good. And it's very evident that he's also on a level as quite a few of our main team guys, which makes even a bigger point for him to play. But if Arteta doesn't want to play him, especially since that Real Madrid stuff last year, allegedly, right? Loan him out. Give him game time. Brighton, I don't know, Everton, West Ham, Borussia Dortmund, RB Leipzig, Girona, Malaga, wherever. Loan him out so he gets game time and he can develop. Because at the moment, you are screwing him over without not allowing him to develop. I got gel injections in my knees yesterday. What happened to you? Or do you have the issues with kneecaps? At the end of the day, you have issues with your kneecaps. Big up, coach. Big up, coach. Hope you're doing well. PR all day. Same. Yeah. Yeah, when my crutches and splint on my... Yeah, I get it. It's rough. You have... Just me, 2, 3. You have a few months of those, don't you? I would, depending obviously on the severity, I would say you have like 4 weeks on crutches or something like that, depending if you don't screw it, if you don't twist it once again. Onyeri better than Trossard. No. Don't get it carried away. Trossard actually is very decent. Geez, you're falling apart, mate. 51 and falling apart already. The sand is dropping. Man's like a mummy already. I thought, no. Cooper is not. Cooper definitely is not. PR, exactly. That's Arsenal's move. PR and pray, basically. PR and pray. Ethan will suit Bournemouth with Semenyo. Yeah, he would. The thing is, though, if Bournemouth sell Semenyo this January, would not be surprised that Vanjiri goes as a loan to Bournemouth. That could actually happen. That actually could happen because Semenyo is way too much discussed at the moment in the media in terms of getting sold, because where is smoke, there is fire. And you cannot avoid that. You definitely cannot avoid that. As Indiana Jones said, it's not the age, it's the mileage. So basically, what you're saying, Hendon, Cooper is 51 running like an 80-year-old. Wait a minute, if Cooper sees how old is Sheldon and Coach? Well, not everyone can be 12 like you, Marlon. Not everyone can be 12 like you, Marlon. Not so good. Had to leave my job after 4 years due to visa issues. Being in South Africa for 20 years, having to relocate back home, really big change. Was a sad last team talk before with our derby on Saturday. Damn. So you're flying back to South Africa now, or what? You're flying back to South Africa? That's very rough. I'm very sorry, man. Wish there was something to do about it. Can't you find, like, the visa issues? Is it like work related? Maybe you can find another job so you don't have those issues. Maybe something with that, unless you have to find a job in the specific field, because then it could be a bit of a problem. 37. See, coach is also 37. Then we are cooked. We played Bournemouth again when you're an actual good coach. Potentially. I'm 17. Yeah, but you act like you're 12. So, hence my point. Hence my point. You are 17, Marlon, but you act like you're 12 most of the time in the chat. That is the thing here. Anyways, what else is new about Arsenal? Make or break. Arsenal ready for the week from hell. What a title for clicks. What a title for clicks, I'm not gonna lie. I am from Zimbabwe, based in South Africa. Lawyers said I must marry a local, not an option. Forgot all the pickup lines. Oh, bloody hell. Well, didn't you want to relocate anyways? Can't you, like, maybe, I don't know, find a way to maybe relocate to, like, Europe? Because in those terms, Europe is a bit more accepting in terms of, to some place, you don't even need visas to even travel there, first of all. Second of all, if you can find a job there, if you can learn their language, some laws, you can genuinely apply for citizenship even there. And the learning curve is not that steep in certain places. Maybe you can actually stay there if you want that. See? Your folks are in the UK. If they live in UK, you basically are in. You can instantly apply for visa, can't you? Anyone who lives in UK, can they verify this? Because I know in many countries that if you have folks living in the UK, you yourself live somewhere else, you instantly can apply for basically a citizenship because your parents are from UK or UK citizens at the end of the day. Or do you need to actually give some sort of a test and all this stuff? Because there are places that goes all over the place. UK, they are citizens. See? Because maybe you can try to do something like that. I don't know. I generally don't know. But if you have an option, maybe, if you want to, of course, you could do. If you want to, you can move to UK. You can find a job there, even in your field, to be honest, because jobs are always needed in certain positions and everything. If it all falls flat, you can find different type of job until you find your ground and your own place if you want to, and everything shouldn't, like, there are options. As long as there are options, and if you're willing to do it, you should not give up. Genuinely, as long as the one thing I learned during all my life, as long as there is one fool, and this is not about age and everything, right, and your abilities, but as long as there is one fool that believes in a certain purpose, and if he fights or she fights for a certain purpose, the cause is not lost. Unfortunately, throughout my whole life, I've been that fool. But at the end of the day, it's been the reason why I am right now here with the things I have achieved in my life. I just put it that way. It's fucking terrible. Like, that is also, people tend to moan a lot about that. You were born on a that explain why you said you've never seen Arsenal. Yeah, exactly. Poro still got beaten. Like, you need a job first, can go off for Dubai and Saudi, but heard working conditions are poor. It's rough some places, definitely. It's definitely rough some places. If he's a minor, his parents can, but if different grown folks. You see, so he needs to do all the citizenship stuff. But you should, like, if your parents did it, then you should be able to, technically speaking. And if you have an option to have dual citizenship, so why not? It's kind of a win-win, technically speaking. You could explore that option. I'm just giving an idea, throwing it out there. I don't know how law specifically in the UK works. I know only about my country, obviously, mostly. But yeah, you can definitely try that. Trossard got to start Sunday for his form. There is nobody else who can start left wing, so there is no other options. Plus, Arteta doesn't trust Dauman or Ranieri, so they definitely not going to start. So that means only Trossard is going to be there. According to Toto Juve, by the way, Arsenal are looking at Yildiz. With Leandro Trossard turning 32 in December 2026, Yildiz would be a viable option to provide competition on the left wing, eventually take over the spot when the Belgian leaves Arsenal. Interesting. People are saying that we also could sign, what's its face? Yildiz. I wouldn't be against that. I definitely won't be against that. I think they're all going to bounce back now. I know. Now I know the mental strength of his injury. Jesus injured for a year and never gave up. Yeah, exactly. And he's here. He's here, definitely. He's here, and you definitely have options. You have chances. Don't give up. As long as you have options, just try and explore them and exploit them as well to your abilities if there is a possibility of that. You should. You definitely should watch Yildiz. You definitely should watch Yildiz because he is something special as well. He is something unique. Would cost a lot of money though, but he would cost about the same money as what's its face as Semenyo or Rodrigo as well. Oh, see, they're UK citizens. Cool. Too much transfer talk going on. I think Arsenal might dip into the market January. Could be the case. Could be the case. Then again, we all know how Arsenal work in these situations. There's always so much talk, so much discussion about Arsenal transfers, especially for January as well. And in the end, we sign nobody. Maybe someone alone if we are lucky. But at the end of the day, we also sign nobody. That is the issue with Arsenal at the end of the day. There's always so much chatter, but in the end of the day, we don't sign about 99.9999999% of the players we are linked with. Let's just put it that way. And also, we are in this kind of a weird spot where we need to sell as well. So even if we sign Yildiz, we need something to sell. If we even sign Semenyo, we need something to sell. If we loan in potentially Rodrigo, for example, if that was an option, and we do an option to buy in summer, would be a bit different story, right? So it obviously depends. Maybe it's also on release clauses. Maybe it's also in installments getting paid and all this stuff. But apparently Arsenal are kind of close to the FFP PSR stuff that is basically all over the place. So Arsenal might be in the situation where they actually need to sell someone to make some money back. I'll just put it that way. Yeah, Yildiz, I like Yildiz very much. But someone needs to be sold. It's just mental strength helped by being on 265 a week and the best healthcare and rehab. Yeah, easily. Light work, right? Light work. Hey, Marlon, relax. I've been bigging up Yildiz for a while. Jesus, Odegaard, star, yeah. Voltemade in the summer, young, strong, and can finish, yeah. Like, it's actually kind of nuts. Yeah, use Martinelli down the middle. But Arsenal are open to selling Martinelli, which actually is also kind of nuts. Would be interesting to see if we get actually any offers in January for Martinelli. And any big ones as well. Exactly. Get Yildiz now and then do a yard sale at the end of the day. Post the yard sale, put players up for display, and then Yildiz in the background as the welcome Yildiz stuff going on. I just put it that way. Voltemade is too late. He signed already. He has signed already. It's Philip playing to blow mentally. Like Bellerin couldn't care about playing. Just like Ben White. Sounds like Ben White. He said himself he doesn't follow football outside of Arsenal at the end of the day. He doesn't even watch games at home. The Ethan loan kind of makes sense now if we are going to market. Yeah, exactly. Because Ethan needs game time desperately, in my opinion. And him loaning out would be actually the best case scenario. Why are we talking about selling when 2 injuries on squad light again? Why we are talking about selling? Ask the media, because they are talking about selling at the end of the day. They are saying Arsenal are open in loaning out Ranieri, selling Martinelli, selling Ben White if a proper offer comes in. Not us, even though I would want to sell them, I'm not going to lie. Only obviously provided they come in to some extent. But we need to sell to buy to some extent right now as well. It feels that way a tiny bit. On top of all that, like, we cannot carry all these players, man. It's very evident that even though we have a big squad, Arteta doesn't trust like 30-40% of them. He doesn't want to put them in rotation, especially the youngsters. So what's the point in having them in the first place? When you can, Gabi said his strength in scoring goals, but too much baggage, I guess. Can't sell Ben White. That leaves too much work on Timberman. Well, Merino, not Merino, fucking hell. Mosquera can play right back. Mosquera can play right back. He has played right back for Valencia as well quite a bit at the end of the day. Mosquera has played right back for Valencia. Like overall, he has played about 90 games for Valencia in general, and about he has played 90 games for Valencia. He has played 13 of those as a right back, and 77 as a center back. He can play as a right back as well. Technically speaking, it's not the worst option, but knowing how things are not going well with Timber at times with injuries, which is a bit of a risk, I'm not gonna lie. Also, Ben White is a bit of an issue there because Ben White is a hole at the moment. After all these injuries, the surgeries, and all this stuff, Ben White is shocking as a defender at the moment. He gets cooked for pace instantly, pretty much on the first try as well. He's almost got to play right. Yeah, he has. Left center back, right back he's played. That's fine. Mosquera doing right back. What happens when Saliba gets a knock? Put him as a center back. I don't want to see Ben White as a center back in the first place. And if I'm being honest with you, I don't want to see him even as a right back. I will back him if he plays, but at the end of the day, he's not a right back anymore. He doesn't have the pace. He doesn't have the abilities. As I said just before all the injuries, yes, after all them, he looks like genuinely a shocking player at the moment. And what's the point? Play our youngsters. Have them as a backup, as a right back. They can also play there too. Mosquera was bought for right center back and right back. Like how Kinkapia got loaned for. Yeah, exactly. Buy younger right back like Coyote from Brentford. Yeah, buy a youngster as well. You have right backs in your academy. Use them. What's the point of the academy if you're not going to use those players? Mosquera can't play right back when we sold Ben White and Saliba gets injury. He can play center back. What are you talking about? Timber doesn't get injured. Mosquera can play there. If Timber gets injured, Mosquera can play right back. You have youngsters in the team. I'm not too against Arsenal selling Ben White down to the streets, to the bins and all this stuff. Selling him down the river. Not against it at all. For me, he's not good enough anymore. Injuries have absolutely ruined him. Well, when I say that, Arteta has ruined him to a very big extent. Yeah, exactly. We have Josh Nichols. He can play right back as well. He plays for youngsters, doesn't get played at all. He comes with us the preseason and plays right back and does somewhat good, actually. But in the main team, during the season, he does nothing because he doesn't even get picked. Maybe he gets a bench performance. He sits on the bench, basically. Like, we have options. But this manager specifically doesn't trust the young players. He just doesn't. Let's be real. And that is the biggest issue here. He doesn't trust Ranieri. He doesn't trust Max Dauman. We are lucky that he even played Skelly. But Skelly got played only because his back was against the wall last year. Calafiori was injured constantly. He didn't trust Zinchenko or Kivior as a left back, so he had to play him. Same goes with Ranieri. Like, this manager doesn't trust youngsters at all. Same happened with Biereth, Balogun, and lots of these guys. None of these youngsters. That's the thing. Calafiori, holy crap. So what? Ben White sold. Why are you even talking about all these what-if scenarios? We need to look at those. I obviously understand that. But what if they don't get injured? Play Hincapie, Mosquera, Calafiori, Skelly at the back. Oh, we don't have backups. Who cares? Technically speaking, we have backups. Ben White is not that good. I don't get why people have so much attachment to specific players. Why do they need these players everywhere for the cover? We have players for cover, yes. We can sign players. We have academy players we can utilize. How comes every single team in Premier League can use youngsters besides Arsenal? How comes? I understand being careful with Dauman, but not sure what the... Exactly. Yeah, if Rice gets hurt, it's done. I don't think he doesn't trust them. The margin and pressure to win so high, play bench players and lose. He'll be crucified. Demand expectation so high. So why did he trust them last year? Skelly basically dragged him out from depths of hell from left back spot and basically had season of his life. Breakout seasons, people are saying. So why did he trust him then? Oh, because his back was against the wall. He showed that he can be good enough under the pressure throughout almost whole season. But right now, he barely gets a kick on the pitch. Like, it doesn't make sense. I would say Skelly would be a kind of nice cover also for Declan Rice. But Arteta doesn't want you to look at that option as well. Arteta doesn't look at that option as well, unfortunately. Loading. Josh Nichols, Harrison Jujak, Sago Jr. We have options. You said yourself, Blunderman doesn't trust the kids unless it's emergency. I'm not attached to Ben White, but White take the risk. I'm not saying... Fucking hell. Motherfucker, where is it? I'm saying Arsenal are willing to sell Ben White. And I'm okay with that. I don't give a damn. Genuinely don't give a damn. That's what, at the end of the day, what I'm saying. If this squad is as good as people say they are, well, we'll see. But for me, Ben White is not an irreplaceable player at the end of the day. Oh, he's a backup. Okay, cool. What a backup for us. Fucking load, bitch. Where is it? Oh, it's all good, all good. Like, I think you maybe missed the beginning of it. Maybe that's why it's all good. But there is not just one Muppet. There are about 50,000 Muppets. That includes Ben White, Martinelli selling, potentially they're open, and Vanieri's loan. Potentially Jesus, although Jesus might stay and all this. But there are about 55,000 players Arsenal willing to sell. Big up, Cooper. Have a nice evening. Have a nice evening. He's the second highest manager in Europe. He should... We should sell assets too while White has value. Yeah, if White gets another injury, might not even sell him for free for 8 million. Dude, that would be from 55 to 8 million. That's a massive drop. You know, Timber's twin brother also linked with Arsenal, though. Yeah, but it looks like he actually might be going to Napoli. I think they are looking at him as well to replace injured Kevin De Bruyne on a free as well. Arsenal are looking at him, but I'm not too sure why they haven't signed him, because we should have signed him last summer instead of Merino. I'm not gonna lie. Forced him to play in the start of the season despite needing knee surgery for 3 months. Yeah, Ben doesn't even play. That's another thing. It's actually nuts. Sell Ben White, but getting a decent replacement. Sadly, Ben White looks after his knees. Yeah, he does. Technically, you can play Josh Nichols there, but go figure. Arteta doesn't trust the youth, so I guess we have to buy. I just don't get it. We have actually very decent academy. We have very good academy graduates and players coming through academy. And Arteta doesn't trust them at all unless shit hits the fan. Maybe if he trusted them before that happened, we would be in less trouble. There's arguments made for that as well. But yeah, I think on that note, I'm going to end today's stream. I'm kind of beat already today. So people, like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Have a nice evening. Tomorrow's Friday, so tomorrow we're going to do a preview for the Spurs game. Definitely it's going to be a nuts one, to say the least. But yeah, I'm going to go have some medicine. Going to drink some medicine. Going to go try and relax. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to feel better. Everyone, have a nice evening. Stay safe. Everyone get well soon. And prepare ourselves for a very long weekend. Because if, and this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. Well, mention, not even talk about. Because, where is it? Come on, load. Yeah. Liverpool, City, both of them play before us. Because if they win, all the pressure is on us. Don't forget that. But yeah, for today, I'm out. Peace.